A World Cup on their doorstep. A world star ready to shine. Good only chance for Lautaro Martinez. There's Messi's first save. That goalkeeper might be busy. Didn't take long for them to get in the groove.
Well, dare I say it, he should score. Virtually his first kick of the ball. He comes in just on the edge of the box, and for him, that's a big miss because the corner's there for him to hit.
First corner of the game for Argentina. They've already forced Alois, the Saudi goalkeeper, into one save. Messi's delivery. There was a bit of pushing going on inside the box. The referee has been alerted to something that has happened on this near touchline.
Abdul Hamid it is. He's got a shirt full and pulled of. Just look at me stopping him making his run.
And the referee has given the penalty. Mohamed Al-Owais, 10 clean sheets in 15 games in World Cup qualifying, but he hasn't come up against a player like this. It's Messi for Argentina. It's simple, it's easy, it's 1-0. And you rather suspect that Saudi Arabia are facing an uphill battle now. Slip through, big chance. And Argentina are back on the world stage and back amongst the goals. Lautaro Martinez. And the referee just checking with the VAR. I think on the offside question, on this occasion it felt very much as if it was going to be awarded, but I'm not sure that it is. It's been ruled out for offside. Messi. He was trying to intervene, but they've worked the ball to Al-Shehri, who's got a shot on target and scored for Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia are on the scoreboard, and it's 1-1 against one of the favourites.
Well, they're winning the ball back in midfield, and it's just a long ball down the middle, but once he gets away, Romero can't stay with him. It's a tight angle. Martinez through the legs of the defender. Martinez can't get anything near it. He's right in the corner. We've got a game on our hands.
Abdul Hamid is on the charge again. They've gifted it straight back towards the substitute, Alabi. His effort is repelled, but Saudi Arabia are becoming difficult to contain. Al-Dasari! Oh, my word! Who saw this coming?
The first shot comes in, headed away, and then when he gets hold of the ball, the touch is brilliant, and then he just checks. And it's just there, it's Martinez that gets a hand on it. That's why he floats in the end into the net.
Messi again. Rodrigo de Paul. He cycled well, and it comes through to one of the substitutes. That's a brilliant save. And Lisandro Martinez has been denied in athletic fashion.
When you are coming to the World Cup, you need to believe on yourself. Everything can happen in football. Sometimes your opponent is not at his best motivation. This is normal. It's also happened to us sometimes when we are playing a lower team. This is sometimes what the people, they don't understand. Do you imagine Lionel Messi to play against Saudi Arabia? Of course, he will tell him, yes, we need to start very well, but the motivation is not like if you are playing Brazil. Huh? This is normal. This is part of football. So we made history for the football. It will stay forever. This is the most important. But we also need to think about looking forward. we still have 2 games very difficult for us.
Hervé Renard must be the most chilled guy on the planet. Definitely did not overreact in any way to the magnitude of that result. An insane result. One of the biggest upsets in World Cup history. It's up there with USA beating England in 1950. It's up there with Cameroon beating Argentina in 1990. Just an insane result. Nobody saw it coming. And what's even more crazy is the fact that they did it from a goal down. They were already 25-1 at the start of the game. They were 250-1 after Argentina scored at the start of the game. The half-time, full-time result, the combination of Argentina and Saudi Arabia, was priced up at 375-1, 500-1 in some places, but probably widely available at around 300 to 375-1 for that combination. And that's exactly what happened. Obviously, Argentina will point to the VAR decisions. 2 of them were correct. 1 of them was definitely wrong. Lautaro Martinez was onside. You cannot penalise someone for their arm being offside because you cannot score with your arm. And with the Messi one, it was supposed to be a piece of his shirt. The clothing counts as a part of the body that you can score with. Ridiculous, but that is the rules. So they did follow the rules with that one. But for the Lautaro Martinez one, they just got it wrong. And Argentina, if they'd gone 2-0 up, that would have been a different game. But that's no excuse for coming out flat. That's no excuse for conceding 2 goals. That's no excuse for having no response whatsoever. And now the world record is gone. That was the game to level Italy's world record of 36 matches unbeaten. Had they not lost this game, they would have levelled that and they would have an opportunity to beat it when they played Mexico in their second game. Now they face 2 cup finals, 2 must-win games against Mexico and Poland, but they were done a favour today by Mexico and Poland playing out a 0-0 draw. So not a great day for us. We were definitely not on the right side of that game. Denmark could not get us a winner. We were on the under in that game. We were on the under as well in the Mexico-Poland game. I was expecting 2 cagey games, Mexico-Poland, just because I think they would have both felt like they would have finished behind. They had the opportunity to finish behind Argentina, but Saudi Arabia have shown they're not the whipping boys. So I think that made the game a little bit more cagey, rather than it being a shootout between 2 teams that were playing for second place in a one-off game. And then in the late game, you had France dismantling Australia. I wasn't as surprised with that result because I did like France on the handicap and I did like Kylian Mbappe to get on the score sheet, but I didn't think they would be that emphatic. I obviously didn't think they would go a goal down because I did like France to win with a clean sheet and for this to be a France under 3.5, France under 4.5 type of game. But I was impressed by France. I was impressed that they came back. But ultimately, that was the easiest game in their group. I don't rate Australia. There's this perception, and I talked about this when I did the write-up over at lockbetting.com, that Australia are better than they are because they do well in other sports. There was a perception that they were better than Saudi Arabia because Saudi Arabia were priced up as huge underdogs against the RGs. RGs were the 1-9 favourites, and France against Australia saw France as the 1-4 favourites. And I wrote in my piece, is it that the bookies feel that Argentina are significantly better than France coming into this World Cup, or that the Saudis are significantly worse than Australia? Because both of those statements are wrong. Saudi Arabia have recently beaten Australia, and there isn't too much between France and Argentina other than the fact that France have less momentum coming into the tournament, have more injuries, and Argentina, of course, riding in the 36-game unbeaten streak. But France do have better players and a better squad overall, so that is a levelling factor, and we saw today Argentina beaten and France winning comfortably. In the next round of games, we could see France succumb to an upset and Argentina bounce back against Mexico. That's how the World Cup is, and it will continue to be that way, and we will try to handicap it as best we can as we move on to looking at Matchday 4. We begin with the early morning game as Morocco take on Croatia. This will be the 10 a.m. game once again in the UK, 5 a.m. on the East Coast and 2 a.m. on the West Coast. I'm not going to say these times all of the time. I'm just doing it at the moment so you guys can get used to it. Croatia are the 11-10 favourites to win the game. It's 23-10 on the draw, and it's 11-4 here on Morocco. Morocco don't come into this tournament with good World Cup pedigree. They've only got 2 wins in their last 15 games at the World Cup. They've done okay en route to the World Cup. Obviously, they've done well to get here. I always make a case of saying that African qualification is absolutely brutal. And if anybody gets here from Africa, they've done really, really well. And Morocco have managed to do that. I just think Croatia are a cut above, especially considering that they found some form lately. They haven't been great since they won the World Cup. They weren't great really at Euro 2020, although they did get out of the group. They weren't too hot. After that, they were eliminated by Spain in a very high-scoring game, but they didn't really perform at the level that they did at the World Cup. That's because they have quite an aging squad. But what's happened in the last 12 months is that some new players have come through. So it's not a case of just relying on Modric and Perisic. There are some newcomers now coming through. And Croatia were very, very impressive in the last 5 games heading into Qatar as they qualified for the semi-finals of the Nations League. Croatia have won their last 5 games heading to Qatar, and they look to follow up finishing runners-up in Russia 4 years ago here against the Morocco side who have lost 7 of their last 10 World Cup matches. So if you look at these 2 teams on paper, other than Hakimi, the right back for Morocco, who's probably the best right back in the world at the moment, you can't really make a case for too many Morocco players getting into this Croatia side. The kickoff will suit Morocco because they'll be more used to the heat, but we have a lot of air conditioning at these stadiums and it hasn't really been a major factor. And therefore, I'm going to lean on Croatia to win the game. I like getting Croatia here at plus money, and I think they'll find a way to open up with a win against Morocco in the morning. Up next, we move across to that 1 o'clock kickoff UK time where Germany are taking on Japan. Germany are the 1-2 favourites to win this game. It's 15-4 on the draw, and it's 13-2 here on Japan. This game's going to be trickier for Germany than people think because Japan are just going to keep running and running and running and running, and they're going to work very hard. And if Germany aren't at the races, then this could be another upset. I think Germany will win, but I think en route to them winning, Japan's hard work is going to get them a goal. And I think that selection is aided by the fact that the Germans haven't kept a clean sheet across any of their last 7 competitive games, with both teams to score landing in 5 of their 6 Nations League outings. Japan have also seen both teams score in 3 of their 4 matches in Russia, and they have hit 12 goals across the last 10 games in qualifying. So I think this will be a game where Germany have to break this team down. I think Germany are going to have to be on the ball because Japan are not going to stop working. Japan are not going to stop running. They are a team without any major superstars, but they are a team who could be dangerous here, and therefore Germany will have to be at their best and will have to be clinical with the chances that they create. But I do like Japan to get a goal en route to this defeat, and the both teams to score here is available for you just under even money at the price of 19-20 here in this one for this game between Germany and Japan. Up next, we move on to the 4 o'clock kickoff, which is Spain against Costa Rica. Spain are the clear 1-7 favourites here to win this game. And that's the second shortest price so far, with, of course, Argentina versus Saudi Arabia being the shortest, although that only reduced near kickoff time because that was sitting at around about 1-5, 1-6 for a while. And once it was confirmed Messi was playing, it did shoot to -900. It's 7-1 here on the draw, and it's 22-1 here on Costa Rica. Can't make any case really here for Costa Rica. Spain should dominate the ball. They should dominate the ball possession, and they should win this game comfortably. However, I don't see this being a game that gets to 5 goals. So I am going to tack on the under 4.5 goals here. One of my favourite plays, although it hasn't been a massively successful one so far in this tournament. The Spain team have scored just once in 7 of their last 9 competitive games. So they're not a team who scored 2, 3 or 4. They're a team who are only managing to penetrate and win with a single goal. And that could definitely be a problem in the later stages of the tournament. But I don't think it will be a problem here against Costa Rica. Spain have won 0 in 3 of their last 4 Nations League games. But it could take them a while to break down a Costa Rica side who only conceded 8 times in 14 qualifying games. But ultimately, I do think Spain will win. I think they'll win comfortably 2 or 3-0. Obviously, Costa Rica have that good defensive record, but that's in CONCACAF. That isn't a region I really respect. It's not as strong as European football, obviously. And Spain are a top European team. And I think they cruise to a comfortable victory here in second or third gear without really getting the 3 or 4 goals that would really impress anybody like France and England have done so far in this competition. Moving on to our final game for tomorrow. It is the 7 o'clock kickoff, and it's a game that sees Belgium taking on Canada. Lots of people waiting to see Canada at the World Cup. Belgium are the 8-15 favourites to beat them. It's 10-3 on the draw, and it's 9-2 here on Canada. Lots of people waiting to see what Canada can do because Canada breezed through CONCACAF qualification. And what I think they'll be able to do is I think they'll be able to score a goal here tomorrow against Belgium. Both teams to score is available at plus money here at 21-20. This Belgium side were the top scoring side at the last World Cup with 16 goals, and they continue to bang in goals ever since that last World Cup. They've continued to score goals in qualifying and in friendlies. However, this Canadian team also have an impressive attacking front line. They have scored more goals in CONCACAF qualifying than any other side. And what's most significant here is the fact that Belgium have conceded in 11 of the last 13 games, with both teams to score landing in 10 of those 13 games. So we're going to ride that selection here. We're getting plus money on it. Belgium, I feel, will definitely score. So we're looking to get something from Canada. And I think this young Canadian team will come out of the blocks looking for a goal against Belgium. I don't think they're going to be one of those teams that sit in with a low defensive block. This is their big return to the World Cup. And I think they'll be able to get their supporters a goal in this one, with Belgium ultimately running out as the winners, as I believe this group will be contested between Croatia, Canada and Morocco for second place. Although I don't fancy Belgium to do much in this World Cup, I do think they're capable of winning this group ahead of Croatia, Morocco and Canada. That concludes this edition of World Cup 24. I'll be back tomorrow to look back at Matchday 4 and look ahead to the games for Matchday 5. Let's hope Matchday 4 goes a little bit better, well, a lot better than Matchday 3. Until tomorrow, good luck with all of your bets as always, and thanks for listening.